Seems like everyone has depression these days. Yeah, go watch a Sargon video. It's apparently because we like too many women with abs or whatever. I hope I can f a woman with abs. Well, wait, hold on. I shouldn't say that. I'm currently, like, f***ing a woman with abs. It's not like f***ing a woman with abs, though. It's like f***ing a woman with, like, big abs. Right? Large abs. Yeah, like mega abs, right? Yeah, right now at this very moment under the desk. Didn't depression jump for young people massively during the pandemic? Yes. Does she go to another school, too? You're asking me to provide proof, and I'm very sorry, guys. We don't have any fucking videos. Hold on, wait. Why are you so stinky? I've also noticed an increase in the number of Pepe mods that I've been getting recently. I don't know if that's because I've lost weight, so this is part of some perceived, like, blow-up arrogance, or if it's because you guys are watching Hassan more often, and it's bleeding over from there. I guess I don't mind either way. You tell us to? Well, I don't like it. If you don't want us to Pepe Mid, stop talking about your 100 sex partners. I have not had hundreds of sex partners. Jesus Christ. I don't remember the specific number, but it could be anywhere between, like, 20 or 30 or something. I don't know. It could be as low as 15. I don't know. Yeah, with my memory, it could be 5. You have no fucking idea. Honestly, 20 to 30 isn't even that many. That's what I'm fucking saying. I'm not nearly as slutty as I could be. One of the big issues, like, in terms of me not living, like, totally slutty life, is I'm trying to be very principled with the whole not fucking fans thing, you know? Tempest has to, like, Tempest gets, like every day or something, like, Instagram DMs from people propositioning, or, like, emails. Tempest has to fucking beat him off, but I think, yeah, it's, you know, taking advantage, parasocial, blah, blah. Yeah, beat them off. Sorry, maybe not. The worst phrasing. I think it's fine. What are your standards for fucking people? Like, would you fuck someone you consider a 5 or a 6 just because you're bored? I guess I don't really think of it that way. I mean, if I like people, I like people. And I prefer to like people that I have sex with. Even if by liking them, I just mean they're interesting to be around, or they're just, like, cool or whatever, you know? I really do think of sex as just, like, a fun thing that you can do with people, or like a sport, effectively, you know? I don't think of it as, like, this inherently romantic thing. And it's absolutely something fun that you can do with somebody, even if they're, like, not your type or whatever, you know? Maybe you prefer to do it with people who are your type, but there's no reason to limit yourself just to that, right? What is my type? How specific is my type? I mean, if my type is only, like, people who I'd consider 10 out of 10, then I'll probably have sex only a few times in my life, right? Or only with a few people in my life. I get it, but I don't get it. Well, it's just about being open to the possibility of having good experiences with people, regardless of whatever preconceptions you might have about who your type is, you know? Sex out of mutual boredom, that can be a good thing. I've done that. There's nothing wrong with that. Have you ever puked during sex because the other person reeked so bad? No, I'm very happy to say that's not a position that I've been in. How likely are you to hook up with somebody who exclaims certain sexual accomplishments that could pit them above previous or potential sexual partners? Like, are you likely to hook up with a porn star with a lot of experience as opposed to a friend? Sure, yeah. Yes. Having sex is a skill, right? If there's somebody who professes to be extremely good, then yeah, I'll absolutely have sex with them. Like, if I think they're cool, like, yeah, for sure. Like, if they're talented, like, why not, right? I've never hooked up with a porn star, though, so I couldn't really say. Are porn stars necessarily better at sex than non-porn stars, right? Because you're good at performing, but I don't think that necessarily means you're good at actually making the other person orgasm. Having sex and doing porn are definitely two things, right? It's a toss-up. I'd be willing to bet they're better than the average person because they're less inhibited, but apart from that, I don't know. They're in great shape. Well, they're good at fucking, right? I would hope they're good at fucking. You know? They're at least they're good at the physical rigors associated with sex, I would hope. Plus, a lot of porn star girls are windsocks. Is that a dirty euphemism for them being very loose? If that's the case, I really don't think that's true.
At the same time, they are exposed to such extreme standards to a point where there may be an element of ingenuity during intercourse.
Yeah, that's possible, Lensical. I mean, I have had sex with people with relative levels of talent, you know? And there's definitely, like, a difference in their perceived abilities, you know? I've had sex with people who were virgins and had a lot of fun just because they were super cool to be around, but, like, they're obviously not good at having sex because they haven't done it before. Do you think physical fitness is related to how good people are? Well, flexibility and stamina are the big things that matter for being good at sex. Those are the main things. You can be fat and be, like, a total fucking god in bed. It's just flexibility and stamina. Those are the two things that matter, you know? Well, maybe the anti-corporatist, but as a rule, I mean, virgins are generally going to be worse at sex, because they literally haven't done it. Have you ever had sex with a virgin who did good because of the porn they watched beforehand? I don't know if it was because of the porn they watched beforehand. I've definitely had sex with a virgin who had a, what seemed to be a pretty significant talent, to at least some elements of sex, you know? You can learn some things from porn, but holistically, it's not the greatest teacher, that's for sure. Are we doing the weird sex question segment? Okay, I don't mind this shit. When I minded was when it was every single stream, but honestly, that hasn't been the case anymore. If you guys are just gonna chat about it, I don't really care that much anymore. I don't think it's like weird or bad or anything. At what point would you say you do away with certain preferences when it comes to having sex with friends? If one is a blonde friend / close acquaintance that doesn't shave as frequently, would you say no to them when sex is involved if smooth turns you on normally? I mean, isn't it just really come down to a sort of holistic understanding of what you're into and what you're like willing to get? At the end of the day, it's like you look at a person and it's like, do I want to fuck this person or not, right? And sometimes the answer is going to be yes if they're not your type, and it's going to be no even if they are your type. And I think I don't think it can be any more specific than that, really, right? The first sexual relationship that I ever had was with me having a friend who was a chick, and we essentially started fucking just because we were bored. And then it escalated from there, obviously, you know. But like also what you're into can totally change depending on who you're with as well. You know what I mean? Bored clapping. Well, that's the future the liberals want, right? I'm clueless. I don't know when people are into me unless they're overt, which I then find off-putting about hopeless outside dating sites, which can be creepy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't have much advice for that because we are very much not the same. Brandy bro, Vermin's still my best friend that I've ever had. There's no bad blood between us whatsoever. We still live together. I mean, obviously, Vermin's always in like the background of the streams talking to me about chicken nuggets or whatever. But it's like I think we're both like super fucking happy with like just like being really good friends, you know? Oh, hello, Pigeon. Have you ever tried being a bottom or sub? I've never tried. I would never be a sub. I've never tried bottoming, but if I ever did. Pigeon. What's the difference between a bottom and a sub? A bottom is physically the person being penetrated, and a sub is a person who takes on the psychological and physical role of a submissive. Anyway, what was I saying? I've never done that before, but I'm not opposed to bottoming as a concept. I would want it to be like a real dick, though. I'm not really into strap-ons, so I don't know. I have had and will continue to have sex with people with penises, so. Do you have a hair color preference? I like black hair. Black or brunette. I don't like blondes that much. But it's not a strong preference, again. I have types, but I think it's a little weird when people are so willing to lock themselves out from potentially good experiences by hyper-defining their perceived likes and dislikes. What about redheads? I think, doesn't everyone like redheads? Isn't, like, the hot, like, redhead girl, isn't that, like, a sexual archetype that is almost ubiquitously appreciated? I feel like redheads who are guys get dumped on a lot, and redheads who are girls get, like, salivated over a lot. Squad W. Do you find you get more attention from women or from men? You mean, like, from people who flirt with me? I don't know the gender of people who flirt with me that much. It's known that I'm bi, or pan or whatever, so I think that a lot of the people who proposition me don't bother to tell me what their gender is. Because they assume it's not relevant to my decision. Which is not entirely true. Thought on mommy doms? Do whatever the fuck makes you happy. You prefer masculine men or feminine men? Feminine. I don't find masculinity attractive. But it kind of varies, again. The first... Pigeon! No! The first cis dude I ever had sex with was like a 6-foot-tall, like, muscular guy. Like, he was stronger than me, you know? But he moaned like a bitch, so I didn't feel like he was super masculine. Pigeon. Pigeon's stupid. Do you consider big dicks to be inherently masculine? No, I don't. I think big dicks are hot, like, pretty much no matter what, but I don't think they're inherently masculine. Then you book you requested, stream photo control, read, congrats, pansexual. Took me a long time to be open about my love of good. I appreciate your bravery. Yeah, thank you. I still don't have any cast iron, so we've got a while to go in terms of really adjusting to the lifestyle. What do you consider masculine? That's a combination of a bunch of really complicated characteristics. I mean, have you ever been tempted to turn a straight guy? No, that is not. I know a lot of gay dudes are into that, the idea of, like, making a straight guy into them, but it's just not something I've ever even remotely considered. I think top or bottom necessarily has to do with penetration. That's how I've learned it, Mal9, though. That's pretty weird. If it's a porn fantasy, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you want to watch a video where it's like two dudes are in a room, like a locker room together, you know, and they're both like in a towel, and one of the dudes like, dude, I'm so straight, I like fucked 10 pussies last night, you know, and the other guy's like, oh, did you? Were you good at it? And he's like, yeah, I totally was. I loved their big asses. And then the first guy drops his towel, and he's like, ass like this, and bends over, and he's got like a big ripe gay dude ass or whatever. And the straight dude's like, yeah, but like, it was like girls' asses, so they were like different. And he's like, but mine feels the same, doesn't it? And then he like puts his hand on, and then the straight, I don't fucking know. See, like, if you want to jerk off that, go for it. I don't fucking care. Have fun. Godspeed. You know what I'm talking about. I don't care. Godspeed. And Godspeed to me for these Mephisto runs. Holy shit. Please write for porn. I'll take it into consideration. How do you know when somebody wants to fuck you? That's really, really contextual. Wasn't I talking about this last night? That person who I met in college, who I just kind of felt it out with by asking if she wanted to come to my place to look at porn sometime. The kind of porn that she liked. I mean, isn't that... I think it really, really depends on the context and the type of person that they and you both are. Okay, that's not the right place. It's a feeling that you get, and sometimes there's nothing wrong with asking directly. I mean, obviously, you have to develop some baseline level of social intuition, because if you just ask random people, it's, like, kind of fucked up. Ask them if they want to kiss, that's a great first step. If you want, like, there are, like, signs, like, body language signs that you can, like, pick up on relatively easily, I think. For example, when you're next to a person, if you lean a little bit in, do they subtly lean out from you, or do they lean in a little bit further, you know? If you're, like, sitting next to a person on a bench, and you lean back and, like, spread your arms and legs a little bit, like you're just relaxing, do they not move, lean into it, or, like, try to move away from it? The lean is creepy. I don't mean lean over them. I just mean, like, little gestures, the way you shuffle your weight around whenever you're moving, you know? I'm not saying that you, like, put your arm around them or whatever. I mean, you can do that if you're, you know, confident that they like you. But, you want to make sure, yeah, creep on them and see the reaction. Araxio, seriously? It's not creeping on somebody to be, like, next to them and to, like, move your body slightly and see where their natural reactions are. And if it seems like they lean away from you a little bit, then there you go. They don't want to be close to you. Like, it's that simple. This can literally mean, like, moving a few inches. It's just a little nuance of interaction. Oxworth, there's no advice that I could give about something this complicated that would encompass everyone's behavioral preferences. It's not possible. Spreading your legs, Vaush? There's nothing wrong with spreading your legs. I'm not saying spread it so far that you're literally touching them. When did I... Guys... Oh, never mind. We can't talk about this. I'm gonna get attacked from one side of the people who think that, like, breathing at a person is rape, and the other side for people who are saying, no, this wouldn't work. I actually had a girl in high school who sucked my cock in homeroom when the teacher wasn't looking, and I still couldn't tell if she liked me. There's no way for me to have this conversation in a way that's not gonna make me angry at you guys. Just be mad, it's fine. Yeah, it could just be mad. First time story? Do I want to tell that? I don't even know if it's that interesting. The first time you have sex is usually interesting enough on its own that you don't need any additional flair to really involve you in the moment at the time. Do it anyway. I think the first sexual, like, real sexual thing I ever did was just, like, a blowjob. I was with that aforementioned friend of mine, and she was over at my place because of the unique and complicated schedules that we had of who went to whose house before whose parents had free time to pick them up and bring them back to their actual house, you know, like shit like that. And she was over at my place and we were alone. And we both had homework from the same... No, it was different classes to do. And she knew that I was pretty smart when it came to writing essays. Trading homework for a BJ? No, actually. Well, she knew that I was decent with the essay writing. So, she said, like, oh, could you help me out with this? And, I said, I'm not doing your whole fucking essay for you, you stupid bitch. That might be a quote. But it's cool, we're friends, it's fine. Anyway, I said something to that effect, you know, it was in that ballpark. But she was at my computer for a while, and she was doing some of the the baseline work herself, like doing the outline and shit. And then she did, I think, the first 2 paragraphs. You know the high school format? You do, like, the opening 3 paragraphs, then the conclusion? It was, like, 3 pages. I mean, this wasn't a college essay. I mean, it was, you know, pretty simple stuff or whatever. But that was the format. And, MLA, I mean, I guess it would have been MLA format. Again, I don't really remember much, because high school was stupid. But anyway, she wrote some of it and asked me to, and asked me if I could proofread some of it. And she was like, I'll put your dick in my mouth if you do. And I said, just in your mouth? And she said, okay, I think she said, like, I'll like 3 strokes or something. And I said 5, and then we went down to 4. And then I proofread her essay for, like, 2 seconds. And then she sucked my dick for 4, what do you call it, 4 strokes? 4 ups and downs. And then she just kept doing it afterwards. Because, you know. Yeah. There we go, the negotiator. Yeah, exactly. The original tab. But yeah, bartering, exactly. The art of the deal. First debate W. That's when the debate bro power really started setting in. You debated her? I'm so sorry, guys. For people who are incredulous in chat, have you ever had friends? Please don't make me be mean to you. Do you really think it's that unlikely that 2 people who are friends might have a conversation like that? That's the most bizarre first sex story I've ever heard. Well, how did you guys have your first blowjobs? Look at where this chest is. Look, this chest is floating off the fucking edge of the thing. Also, I held frame. If you guys think that's cringe, okay, I wish I could teleport into your brains and watch your first time stories, okay? Because I guarantee you motherfuckers were cringe than I was. I've never had a blowjob. I watch streamers on the internet. Based. Sigma pilled. Focus on what's important, okay? My first time was with my girlfriend. Well, that girl never became my girlfriend, but we ended up doing plenty of stuff, like, in the future. Tell us about your actual first sex, then? Well... We did anal. What do you want? Why does chat do this? I feel like there's no way to answer any of these questions without getting chat angry at me. Does oral sex count as sex to you? It's a kind of sex, but when I think of whether or not a person's a virgin, I tend to think of, like, penetrative sex, I guess, but... If, like, we're talking about, like, cis lesbians together, I mean, obviously they can have sex, but, you know, I wouldn't gatekeep that behind a strap-on or whatever. I don't know. It's totally arbitrary. I think chat's anger is at least partially performative. It is literally impossible to tell. Also, the performativity may be most of it, but there are some people who are legitimately angry. You're supposed to tell this story like the porn film from a novel? You guys want, like, a fucking narrativization? I don't even remember the details from the first time I had anal sex. I remember the details from the first time I had vaginal sex, though, because that was much later in life. Anger over what? It's just stream chat. You know how it is. Have you ever considered writing porn? Well, I used to write, like, erotica behind an account that you guys will never find. Would I ever do porn? I'm not opposed to it morally, sure. I'd have to feel really good about my body, though. Like, if I'm going to be recorded for posterity, I want to make sure I look good, you know? Do you prefer vaginal or anal sex? I think they do and achieve different things. I think they are good in different ways. Which is more snug, the vagina or the asshole? That can depend on a lot of factors, but generally anal is tighter right at the entrance, but looser throughout the rest of it, whereas vaginal sex has a fairly consistent tightness to the entire thing, but no point of it is as tight as the asshole. Chat is so horny, good god. Yeah, well, you know. We've had a stressful few days, haven't we? We're relaxing. I'll allow it. That answer was extremely autistic. Well, that sounds to me like some... What? Do you disagree? That's literally true. What do you want me to give a less accurate answer so it's less autistic? What the fuck do you mean? Do you want me to write it out to you like erotica? That's literally the distinction. Jesus. I don't, but the specificity was disturbing? What? That's the answer. I talked for like 10 seconds. What do you mean disturbing? How is it disturbing? That's what it is. That's the difference. Sodomy is a sin, Vaush. True. But that's what happens. That's what it is. Just learn sex is real. Angel thumb. True. I think by autistic they just meant accurate. I also think that anal is I think that if you have to wear a condom, I think anal is way better too. In my experience, vaginal sex with a condom, like, is really just more of a emotionally fulfilling experience, you know? Like, oh yeah, dude, I'm stretching this bitch out. Fuck yeah, you know? They are being railed right now. But it's more the conceptual fun. But like with condoms, even with good, well-fitting condoms, man, like custom fit, it still just doesn't feel that good, in my opinion. But anal sex, I think, feels good with a condom. So. What do you do when you find out the actors in porn don't really love each other? Oh, it's devastating. Tailored condoms? I mean, you can buy custom condoms if you want. Rocco, that really depends on the college and what type of person you are. I couldn't really say ubiquitously.
Sorry, Vaush. I'm imagining someone measuring your dick and writing it down.
Well, Sin Phoenix, you measure your dick and write it down, right? I mean, that's what you do? Oh, you mean like if they were like a tailor and they had the little thing? Have I ever frauded with a penis haver? Chat, what is frauding again? It's when you rub your dicks together, right? Yeah? Well then, yeah. I've fucked people with dicks. Why the fuck wouldn't I? Like, what? If you're fucking a person with a dick, why in God's green earth would you not at some point do that? Like, what? I can't think of any reason not to. Not sword fighting. I think sword fighting is when you bap them against each other. I think it's that thing when you put it in their foreskin. No. That's docking. That's a different thing. Really up to your preference. Have I done docking? No, I'm afraid I haven't. Fuck! Wrong exit. Is docking even real, or is that like Urban Dictionary shit? I mean, like, if you're both erect and like one of you is uncircumcised, I guess you could like put it like a little around the other. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's a thing that people like really do for sexual gratification, you know? I think it's more of a meme. It's even more of a meme than scissoring is. And scissoring, I think, is widely, like, at least somewhat of a meme. A widely overstated thing. But it does happen. Explaining sex to chat. Yeah, well. We're all gonna make it. I believe in all of you. All of you who wish to become sex tappers. I think you're going to make it work for yourself. Is pre-cum hot? Well, you know, at this point now, you're just asking. You're essentially like doing the flirting with me. People obviously find pre-cum hot. That's why you see it all the time in like drawn pornography or whatever. It's clearly an element of people's sexual interest, at least somewhat. What the fuck is pre-cum? Is that a real question, Dr. Strange? I can't tell. I don't know with chat. I have no way of knowing if that's a real fucking question. I guess if you've never like been around a dick or whatever, I don't know. Yes, I legit don't know. It's lubricant that is expelled from the penis when somebody is aroused. Hence, pre-cum. Yeah, you're obviously not a doctor. Is it weird that that has never happened to me? You know, honest to God, I don't have an answer to that.